Hey coin collectors, and welcome to DC Coin World International Coin Channel. And let's get the mystery over really quickly. There are indeed two different Grover Cleveland presidential dollar coins, and they are different because President Grover Cleveland was elected president twice. He was first elected in 1884 and started serving in 1885. Then he was elected in 1892 and started serving in 1893. Why, you ask? Well, he lost an election in the middle. One of the things I want to make sure you see is that they actually have two different portraits on these two different coins. So Don Everhart, who engraved these coins, engraved this one, and this is the one, of course, with the bow tie necktie. And then he engraved this one with the other bow tie necktie. And you can see this has kind of polka dots on it. And this one he faces to the right. This one he faces kind of towards the camera. This one he has an old kind of bushy. See how he has the old kind of bushy mustache. This one he has a more clean-cut mustache, and in this one you can see the age lines under his eyes, and not so much in this one. So of course he was 8 years older when he started the second term. The only president that we have that's done that. So what they did for him was that they made two presidential coins because he was president in two separate terms. When you look at these coins, one of the things you notice is they say what president they were. And he was the 22nd president. Nice bow tie there too, don't you think? Kind of a beautiful little bow tie there. He was the 22nd president, but then he was also the 24th president. Even though he was the same person elected twice, he's considered the 24th president. Now, what about other presidents? Well, if you serve two terms in a row, they just put the whole 8 years on. If you serve more than two terms in a row, like this one here, look at this guy. Franklin D. Roosevelt served from 1933 until 1945. He served for 12 years. 3 terms in a row. They just put it all on there once. Now, this president here, Calvin Coolidge, served for 6 years. How did that happen? Well, he was the 30th president, but guess what? The 29th president, Warren G. Harding, died in office. He was only in office for 2 years. So Warren G. Harding only got 2 years in. That meant that Cal Coolidge got 6 years in. And then after they had both of them had served, of course, came President Hoover. And then President Roosevelt was elected through the Depression and through the end of World War II. How can you tell what year these coins were made in? You notice on the back, it just says United States of America, $1, Statue of Liberty here. There are two initials here, a D and an E for Don Everhart, who engraved this coin. His initials are also on the front right there, Don Everhart. Well, what they did was they moved in 2009 to put the lettering up on the edge of the coins. And so you see this says 2012 D on here. But they also did it in two different ways. So sometimes the year and the words on the edge and the stars on the edge face up when the image is up, and sometimes they face down. So what you need to do is you need to find the image facing up, and that's this way. So this is Grover Cleveland facing up. And then you look at this. Does this face up like he does? Or does it face down? Because it faces up like he does, that means that this is a position A. If it faced down the other way, that would be a position B. And position B and position A are both graded separately. And collectors want to get both positions. What about this one here? This one, he's facing up. Let's see what the words are. On this one, he's facing up, right? So we got him so he's facing up. But then when we get over here to the numbers, if we look at it when it's facing up, the numbers are facing down. So this is a position B. Position A faces up when the face is up. Position B faces down when the face is up. And you see this is a 2012 D coin. That's how you can tell. They call it edge lettering, so you need to turn it on to the edge letter in order to find out what the year is. Because they made two separate coins, what does that mean in terms of production at the U.S. Mint? Well, they had two different numbers. They called the one here when he was 22nd president the first term Cleveland dollar. In the first term Cleveland dollar, the first presidential term, they made 5.5 million at Philly. And the best one they found so far is a Mint State 68 position B, which is $225. At the Denver Mint for the 22nd president coin, or the first term coin, The best one they found so far is an MS-68 from position B, and that's worth $600. And then they also have an S Mint or San Francisco Mint of these, and they found a Proof 70 decams worth about $67. So this one, if you go to the highest price coin from the first term, these were both put out in 2012 as a series of coins went. So in 2012, the first coin that was put out was a Chester A. Arthur. The second coin that was put out was Grover Cleveland first term. The third term that was put out was Benjamin Harrison, who got elected over Grover Cleveland in 1888 and served in the middle of his two terms. And then the fourth coin they put out was this coin here, the 24th President coin. The 24th President coin is significantly valued less. The Philadelphia Mint, they made 10.7 million of those. The highest of the first term coins was worth 225. The highest of the Philadelphia second term coins is $130 in value. At the Denver Mint, they made 3.9 million second term coins, and the highest price of those is $225 versus the $600 for the first term coin. And then at the San Francisco Mint, the best of them is the Proof 70 decam. That's worth $55 instead of the $67. So even though both these coins came out in the same year, they had the same guy on them, they have different values to collectors. We also need to remember that in 2012, that was the first year that they didn't have general circulation dollars. So what happened in 2011, they had way too many dollars at the U.S. Treasury. They had $1.4 billion that they couldn't get the banks to take because people just weren't using them. So they said in 2012, we're not going to generally circulate these. Only collectors can buy them. How could collectors buy them? The collectors could buy them in rolls of 25. They could buy them in boxes of 250. They could buy them in boxes of 500, and they could buy them in bags of 1,000. They could also buy them in mint sets and proof sets. So only collectors could buy them at the time. None of them came to the banks, and none of them were circulated. Once in a while, you may see one of these in general circulation, but generally not, because they're worth a couple bucks. And if you put it in general circulation, you're only going to get $1 for it. All right, well, that's all we have today from DC Coin World. I'd love to have you subscribe to our channel and leave any comments you have in the comment section.